Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Honestly, I don't know if this is even going to record because, well, it's not showing that it's recording, but obviously if you're listening to this then it did. So today I'm going to talk a bit about a day in the life with PTSD because I find a lot of people associate PTSD with, like, witnessing a violent crime scene or being in the army, seeing an explosion, stuff like that, but no one really takes into consideration that PTSD can actually happen from psychological trauma and from different types of abuse, etc., which it can. So a lot of people just look at people who have gone through psychological abuse and other types of abuse, etc., as, shy, combative, antisocial, moody, whatever word you want to put to it. They label as that, and they refuse to acknowledge that it may actually be PTSD. So, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to talk you through what a typical day with PTSD is like for me. Now, obviously, there's no real, by the definition, typical day of PTSD because everyone's PTSD is different, and no 2 days in general are exactly the same, which means no 2 days with PTSD can exactly be the same. But I'm going to try and outline the best I can what a typical day would be like. So I'm going to go from midnight to midnight as opposed to wake up until bedtime, just because the way I live my life midnight to midnight would actually be easier to describe. So starting off at midnight, I'm usually still awake unless I've had a really hard day emotionally or I'm not feeling good and I napped. And the reason I say that is because, like, I usually nap after supper, and if I'm not feeling good, sometimes that 7, 8 p.m. nap lasts till like 4 or 5 in the morning, and then I just get up. But, like, on a typical day where I haven't napped and everything else was fine the day before, then I am usually still up at midnight. And usually I'm just watching YouTube videos or playing games on my phone, whatever, waiting for everything to quiet down so I can go to sleep. And what I mean by that is, for starters, where I'm living is right in between two bars. Well, during COVID, that hasn't really been an issue, but again, this is my best guess at describing a typical day for me. And COVID isn't typical, it's just something that's been affecting us the past couple of months. So, on a typical day, I live between two bars, and regardless of the day of the week, I don't think I've ever seen them close earlier than like 11, 11:30 on any day of the week, unless it's due to weather or holiday. So, usually at midnight I'm still up because, I can still hear the noise from the bars, and also my building's not very soundproof, and there's still people in other units watching TV, doing laundry, coming home, stuff like that. So I stay awake even if I'm tired. And the reason being is that for me, noises I'm not expecting, or even some loud noises that I am expecting, they can trigger me and cause a panic attack, and then I would never begin to sleep. So you're probably now wondering, like, what's the difference between being awake for it and being asleep for it? Wouldn't I sleep through it? Whereas if I'm awake for it, wouldn't that prevent me from going to sleep? Actually, no, because if I'm awake, like I said, I have YouTube or Netflix on, or I'm playing a game on my phone, and that's loud enough to block out any noise. Or for an example, if someone's coming home, like I said, this building isn't very soundproof, like I can hear them downstairs in the lobby coming up the stairs. So when their apartment door slams shut, that sudden noise doesn't scare me because I heard them on the stairs. Or people running laundry late. The dryer buzzing is a sudden noise, but if I am hearing things spin around in the dryer, then I know the dryer's on, and that buzzing noise when the dryer's done isn't going to scare me. So that's why I stay awake till everything's quiet, so that I can hear the sounds leading up to the louder sounds, if that makes sense. So, whereas if I'm asleep, then I don't hear the sounds leading up to the louder sounds, and the louder sounds will jolt me awake, usually because I'm already having a nightmare, so I'm already not in a deep sleep to begin with. And once I'm awake, like once I get woken up due to noise or woken up due to nightmare, I don't go back to sleep, so I have to try and get as much sleep as possible in one go. So usually by the time everything's quieted down, it's like between 1 and 2, and that's usually when I go to sleep. I used to take melatonin to help me fall asleep because it's sitting there in the dark, no matter how much white noise, how much soft music, how much whatever I have going on, and I cannot fall asleep. I've tried night lights, I've tried complete dark, I've tried white noise, I've tried music, I've tried sleeping with my blinds open so that the light from outside shines in. Like, I've tried everything. And for me, the only way I'm ever getting to sleep is to fall asleep from exhaustion. Like, I can't say, oh, it looks like it's a reasonable time to go to bed. I better go to bed now if I want to get up in time in the morning. Like, I can't do that. I have to fall asleep while doing another task. Like, I have to fall asleep watching Netflix, fall asleep reading a book. Like, I can't deliberately sit there, turn off the light, lay down, and say, I'm going to sleep now. That just doesn't happen for me unless I take melatonin, but like I said, then any nightmare I have, I am trapped in and I cannot wake up to escape it, which is almost worse than waking up from and getting very little sleep. So, usually, if I'm lucky, I get 3-4 hours sleep a night on a good night. And I am a diabetic, and yes, I know that has nothing to do with PTSD, but diabetics do get thirsty a lot, do go to the washroom a lot, so in that maximum of 3 to 4 hours that I'm sleeping in the night, I'm also getting up to go to the washroom, getting up to get a drink, so my quality of sleep is pretty poor. And then on top of that, anywhere from 60 to 95% of that time that I'm in bed dreaming is a nightmare or a flashback. So, yes, I spent a lot of time talking about sleep, but sleep and the lack of it, for me, anyways, is a big part of living with my PTSD. So, usually, regardless of how little sleep I get, it if I do not have anywhere to be, I will stay in bed until 10 a.m. Obviously, I'm not sleeping because, like I said, it's a miracle if I get 4 hours sleep, let alone 8. But I'll just be in bed again, watching Netflix, playing on my phone, whatever. Basically, I force myself to spend 8 hours laying down, even if I'm doing another task, in the hopes that I will fall asleep and get more sleep. So if I lay down at 2 a.m., I am not getting up, turning lights on, turning electronics on, having breakfast, what have you, for 8 hours unless I have somewhere to be. Even if I'm just laying there staring into space, and that is something that I've actually been told to do by several therapists, so that's why I do it, even though it's frustrating because, again, with my diabetes, I can be sitting there at 8 a.m. I've been up for a couple hours now. I'm hungry because of my diabetes. I feel my sugar low, but I don't want to get up because I want to hope that my body falls back to sleep again. So after that, when I do get up at 10 o'clock, um, it's the typical morning. Something I do want to mention is in my apartment, I always have the fan on 24/7, and I always have the bathroom light on 24/7. Because the fan, even when I'm not trying to sleep, the white noise does help ground me, and it doesn't always work, but it does help. And then the bathroom light, if I turn off during the day, I'll forget to turn it back on at night. And having it on at night helps me because I can see a bit of my surroundings without it being too bright, so that kind of lets me know that, hey, I can see everything, everything's okay. So, typical day for me, I only usually get out of the house 2, 3 days a week. And lately, right now, so the majority of the days I'm home and I'm trying to get schoolwork done, but as you can imagine, I'm very tired. And same with keeping up with the cleaning, I'm very tired. So usually I do extreme small amounts of those. Watch a lot more YouTube or Netflix. And usually throughout the day, I'm jumping at any loud noises, I'm in a special needs building, and sometimes people go yelling through the halls. And whenever that happens, I will jump and get scared to the point where I can feel my heart stopping, where I almost have an accident. And I know that's kind of personal to say on here, but some people don't realize how bad noises can affect someone with PTSD, so I don't mind embarrassing myself a little to get that point across. So basically, that's what my day looks like. Basically, trying to be productive, but mostly chilling and also getting scared constantly. So, and in the summer, like it is now, I'm also sitting inside, looking outside, seeing how nice it is, wanting to go outside, wanting to go for walks. The library is just down the street, and we have, well, when there's not COVID going on, we usually have festivals in our downtown core, which is about a 10-15 minute walk. There's a really nice ice cream place, 5-10 minute walk away. Like, I'm looking outside most days in the summer, seeing all that, wanting to go out, but too scared because of my PTSD. And I can't really elaborate on that without saying the cause of my PTSD, which is kind of personal, so I'm not sharing that. But basically, just stepping outside, I get the fear that something can happen, and it triggers a really bad anxiety attack to me. I know there's a condition when people are afraid to leave their homes. I forget the name of it. That isn't me. Mine is PTSD, and I'm afraid of facing my triggers. Like, it's not even that going outside triggers me, it's that, and I know that there's a good chance if I go outside, I'm going to face something that triggers me, and I'm afraid of being triggered, if that makes sense. So, I usually don't go anywhere alone, and it's kind of like, it kind of bothers me because I want to get out and do stuff. But basically, yeah, that's what my days are like, and then I get a lot of headaches, probably from not sleeping well. So, well, I will usually either take a nap around 4 for a couple hours, and then have supper. I'll have supper around 4, relax for a bit, and take a nap around 6 for a couple hours if I need a nap. And then I'll spend the night, back on Netflix or YouTube, chilling out, trying to get a little bit more productive things done before it's bedtime. But yeah, that's pretty much what a day with PTSD is like for me. So I'm gonna leave it there, and I'm probably gonna do more PTSD themed videos over the next little bit because I've been having a hard time with it lately, and I find talking about it helps, even not without going into a lot of detail. But yeah, I'm leaving it here. And if you like this video, hit the thumbs up. And because I can't seem to follow an upload schedule due to a lot of outside factors in my life, I would suggest that you hit the subscribe button and then hit the notification bell as well. And there should be an option that says all updates or something like that. You're going to want to hit that one. That way you'll get emailed and you'll get a YouTube notification whenever I upload. It's completely free, and that way you always know when I'm uploading and you don't miss anything. But for now, that's everything, and I'll see you next time.